the story reveals that China is both using its economic espionage, so they're trying to steal significant secrets about, in particular, military technology to leverage their own military developments back at home. But we're also starting to see China flex its muscles when it comes to influence operations, and in particular, the allegation that China has been able to recruit an individual close to an AfD European politician, shows that the China is trying to use its secret leverage really to influence the politics of both the far right within Germany itself. So we're seeing China adopt a double strategy here of stealing technological information as they've always done, but we're also seeing China use its influence really to shape European politics.
Why is Germany being targeted? How might this impact its reputation among its allies?
Well, Germany's reputation amongst its allies is already low following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Germany has been rocked by a series of spying scandals, including even the allegation that Russian intelligence had been able to recruit a senior member of Germany's foreign intelligence service, the BND. So this is one of several espionage scandals that are taking place. Germany has been presented as often a weak link in NATO itself. But we can also say that there have been spying scandals across Europe itself, not just China, but also Russia, and even in the UK, we've also had the recent conviction of two charges against two individuals working at the heart of the UK Parliament, which was suggested were working for China as well.
Can you tell us more about what kind of information these alleged spies are relaying back to Beijing?
Well, China is interested in a whole range of spectrum of information here. Naturally, they are looking for economic information, in particular, information that could be of use to the Chinese military or Chinese technological developments back at home, allowing them to effectively skip the research and development phase that Western nations are working on. But China is also interested in a whole multitude of information on politics, wider societal issue, information that might be economically advantageous to Beijing. So it's a whole spectrum here. The other thing is that primarily China's main intelligence target is of course the United States. But anyone who is allied or part of the wider NATO community as an ally of the United States is naturally a significant target there.
And do you think that we've seen a significant spike in cases, or has European authorities just been more vigilant of late? Just how vast is the scale of China's spying operation in Europe potentially?
Well, I think what we're seeing here is a bit of both. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, there has been a focus back on nation states. Here within Europe, post 9/11, the emphasis has been on terrorism in particular, and what we've seen now is that European governments and the United States has become increasingly aware of the threat posed by nation states themselves. In terms of China, particularly in the UK and across Europe, was seen in the so-called golden age of diplomacy between the West and Beijing, was seen as a potential for economic investment within Europe itself and an ideal trading partner. What we've started to see now is the realization that with economic investment comes in turn leverage, attempts by Beijing to provide leverage, which has led European capitals to become increasingly aware of the threat posed by China itself. On the opposite side, however, we've also started to see, I think, Beijing increasingly flex its muscles. So on the one side, we've seen the West become more aware of what China's doing. On the other side, we've also started to see China as a diplomatic and economic power flex its muscles, and with that, we're starting to see increased spying in the West.
And how has China responded to these latest arrests, with President Xi Jinping due to visit Europe next month?
Well, again, there will be diplomatic repercussions potentially further down the line. We do know that China is not averse to showing its displeasure at spying allegations. If viewers remember back to last year when there were allegations that China had put a surveillance balloon over the United States, this scuppered connections between the United States and Beijing at an important time here. So there is the potential for diplomatic fallout. China at the moment, as it has always done, is downplaying these spying scandals, and is denying them. So it's given itself a veneer of plausible deniability, even though, as we're seeing, the evidence of China's economic and political spying in the West is fairly extensive.
Dr. Dan Lomas, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.